Boom. What's going on, everyone? It's Rahman Mustafa.
It's Emmanuel Hope.
And this is the Ends to Excellence podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Today we have a special guest with us. We have Nelson Adeosun.
Woo.
Welcome
Thanks for
to the
having me,
podcast.
guys. Thank you.
Welcome, brother. So for all those that don't know, Nelson Adeosun is a shooting assistant producer. Dang. He's worked for Netflix, BBC, ITV, Sky, Mixtape Madness. Not for the radio. His style is documentaries and
Factual entertainment.
Factual entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's done documentaries on grime, sex workers. Yeah, a bit wild, but
I don't know why I picked that one out.
That was mad.
But you know what? That one just it lights up the eyes
Don't
sometimes.
worry, but we'll talk about that.
Lit up, bro.
And also FIFA World Cup, FIFA 2022. Yeah. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys, man. Appreciate it, man. Always.
Coming. So one of the things we always ask our guests is, what ends are you from, brother?
I'm from Blue Borough.
SE, yeah.
SE, man. That's my residence. That's my place. That's where I call home.
Yes.
And what industry are you excelling in right now?
So I work in the television industry. Not television, film. Film is a bit different. So we can talk about that. Let's talk about it.
We can get into it. Let's
We'll
drive.
definitely get into that. So how did you get into television and not film? Television and what?
Yeah.
The
Television.
Television, yeah.
How did you get into the television industry?
So basically, I basically used to work at a place where a lot of people who worked in TV used to play football, and I wanted to work in TV at this point. So when I realized that they all worked in TV, I started chasing them, and basically I managed to snag an internship. Well, I snagged the interview first, and then an internship at a company called Utopia, and they make really, really big, epic sort of biographical series, and they do stuff like reconstructions of the first 9 months of a baby in the womb and stuff. So really heavy science sort of documentaries. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Calm.
So what kind of qualifications did you need to get into or get that internship?
So
what did you even have in the beginning?
So
let's
I
start
have
from there.
a biomedical science degree.
Okay.
And to get into TV, you actually don't need any qualification.
No.
Everyone that studied broadcast media, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's one of those ones where
you really think you shouldn't go and
I'm
do
not
a
saying
uni
you
degree or
shouldn't.
nothing?
I'm not saying I think.
Does it help? Like broadcast media, like
It's basically one of those things where you're studying the theory to an extent and the practical. It can come in useful because you learn skills, like you might learn how to edit and shoot and all these things.
Yeah.
But that theory never gets used because you get taught those things
On a
anyway
job.
to some
Right,
extent.
okay.
So I mean, if you can shoot, you like myself, I could shoot. So I'm even able to probably go for a higher role than I am currently. I'm probably just chilling here just because I want to do a couple things, but I could definitely, producer director, which is sort of senior role. But it's one of those things where you're doing programs of varying subjects, so you're better off knowing a subject to make a program about than knowing the technical aspects of making a TV show before you get into TV.
Makes sense.
Taught all those things anyway.
So basically, like, if you've done a uni degree in something else, like, I don't know.
Linguistics, learn a language.
Yeah.
That would come in more useful for you to go away
and do a TV show
about that place or in that place or surrounding that, whatever, yeah.
Got you.
So adding something new to TV instead of just the TV theory kind of
Exactly.
But you didn't go into uni doing a biomed science thinking you wanted to do media?
No. But what I did discover at uni was, number one, I was just a busybody. And number two, I like to tell stories. So it was a case of just...
You was a gas.
Yeah, it was you know what it is, yeah? It's not just the gas, but a lot of people think, like, I like people, like...
Wait, what?
Huh?
Like, I don't...
I thought it was boys, bro.
No.
Wait, what?
I like my friends, don't get me wrong,
Wow.
I like my friends, but I actually spend a lot of time on my own. But to adequately get the things done that I want to get done, I have to be able to communicate. So I've sort of worked out how to communicate quite well to the point of being able to tell stories, and that word, that sort of, when people say tell stories, it sounds like, you know, they're gonna give you parables and all that stuff. But it's just about being able to hold people's attention and do that for, you know, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, you know, up to an hour or longer. And the ability to do that in itself, you know, people call it public speaking, some people call it just being able to, you know, interact. But the ability to do that is storytelling. You're able to take people on a journey. And essentially, that's what I like doing, taking people on a journey about whatever it might be that I want to take them on a journey on. And, you know, for example, in uni, I only realize now that it's a big achievement, but I managed to tell people that in 2 weeks, they're going on a coach to wherever for a rave. Reality is that we booked the coaches the day before or 2 days before. We saw the venue, you know, so we saw people a dream, but they believed that dream. And the ability to do that over and over again was essentially being able to tell a story or take people on a journey or being able to engage people. So I feel like I like that.
So would you reckon, just as a side question, do you reckon you actually learnt that skills through uni, or do you think that you would have learned that skills outside of uni?
I think I've always been able to talk to people. I think with uni, it's just a pressure cooker. You just have so many more people around you, and you're always getting feedback on it. So it sounds like a very weird process, but it's quite natural in terms of just how many people like you, how many people care about what you have to say, care about what you think. How many people can you say, yo, I'm doing this, are you down to come down? Or, you know what, let me call you and talk. How long can you talk on the phone for? All these things. And actually, you work it after a while. I can talk to people, I can't talk to people, or I'm comfortable talking to people, I'm not, you know. I don't like public speaking per se, but if I was to go in front of people and have to present something, I'm now able to do that with quite relative ease because I know what my goal is. You know, I can't just go up there and tap dance. But I can, you know,
tell a story or captivate
I can get people to listen to what I have to say to an extent.
Got you. So for the young person that's listening to this, or someone that wants to try and get into your industry, what would you say is the best way to do that?
I think number one is just be active, and even not active, but be proactive. So being proactive, I think for me, just means just thinking about what's going to happen next or where you want to be next, because that really helps you dictate what happens next to some extent. So
what do you mean by that?
So to break it down is, for example, I wanted to be in TV, and I took steps. So for example, first step that didn't work was I emailed every production company I could find. Hardly got anything back from that. But what it meant was that I then had a sort of idea of what was happening. And I can use that now when I was speaking to that guy to say, for example, these are the companies I know, and I also watch a lot of TV. So therefore, I'm proactively understanding the industry I'm trying to go into, and then just learn about networking. And when I say networking, I think people have to really define that term. I think in TV, networking is about finding a common place between you and whoever you're speaking to. So I think what people usually say when they say networking, they mean, you know, handing out business cards and whatever. People say, have you got your business cards? Make sure you have a pen, blah, blah, blah. All that is cool. It's slightly mythical, because what networking really is finding a common place between yourself and whoever you're speaking to, and having the idea that you can offer something to them. So whereby, you know, in corporate networking, people talk about business cards. TV specifically, it's all about what can you do to help alleviate that person's problems. So if they are a commissioner and you're, you know, whoever you are, what experiences do you have that they don't have? That's one thing. Or what conversation can you have that will bring you to a level playing field? How can you bring that person to your level, or how can you ascend to their level so that they care? And I think that's what networking ultimately is, because when people care, they make things happen for you. When they don't care, that's when you don't get anything back.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So,
Cool. So where should someone go to network and meet these individuals?
So it's quite hard, because TV, because of the way the industry is, it's a lot more glamorous than it looks. So when things go on TV,
so what's dope. Sorry, go on, I'll let you finish.
They look dope. So the reality is, because of how it looks and because of the amount of influx of applications and just madness that comes.
Yeah.
They've kind of closed it off. So what you need to do, I think the first thing is not so much. I think the blind email thing doesn't really work. What I'd recommend is people go to organizations like Mama Youth. So they run a 6-week program where they pay you to actually produce a Sky One show called What's Up. One of my friends, Ramel London's on that, Aaron Bridgman is on that. They present it. And basically that program teaches you the basics of TV production right up to shooting a show and it going out on TV. So essentially you're going to, by the end of that program, you see your name on the back of those credits. So like, it's just there. There's also always taster programs by the RTS, the Royal Television Society, BAFTA, do a lot of stuff. Creative Access is really good because they basically give you an apprenticeship straight in. You know, you don't have to have experience. The more experience you can have, it's obviously better, but they give you apprenticeship straight off the bat in television companies for 6 to 12 months, which is amazing.
Okay.
Who else? There's also a site called Talent Manager, which is basically like TV's Indeed or Read, if you like.
Okay.
Talent Base is also really good. Facebook is probably where you find most of the TV stuff going. There's a group called People who work in TV looking for runners or looking for staff. And if you can find that, that's probably got most of the opportunities that you can find.
So are there any like networking events that happen like periodically that people can go to? Yes,
you just reminded me of probably the one that I find probably the best.
Okay.
I went in this one. It's for the Edinburgh TV Festival. So basically everyone in TV just goes up to Scotland, to Edinburgh, to just watch stuff and talk and drink and whatever. And the Edinburgh TV Festival run a taster week, which is basically people who haven't worked in TV before can go up, do some, you know, little sessions, but also get to meet those people and stay around with them for a week. So essentially you drink with them, whatever. Drinking's a big thing in TV, by the way. But you get to drink with them, chill with them, talk to them, ask them questions, and you meet them over and over again. So by the end of that week, you've, you know, made a network with them. So it's more commonplace. It's not so much I'm begging you to for a job. It's more, this is what I like, this is what I watch, this is what I think, and how can we work together on this?
Got you. Okay, so good. The network TV.
But it's under the Edinburgh TV Festival, so they've just wrapped up the interviews for this year. So just get in, just anyhow you can get in, just get in with those people. They're really good.
Could you just fly out to Scotland and just try and cut the queue in that?
No, because like I said, there's a lot of crazies. There's a lot of crazies. So all your passes and stuff, they'll get checked.
It's thorough. Okay, it's thorough. Okay. Alright, so don't run up to Scotland, you waste your money.
So with the new breed now, obviously everyone's kind of with the advancement of technology. Everyone is obviously doing it themselves, learning how to shoot, jumping on YouTube themselves. Like obviously in you're pushing on a bit. Won't reveal any ages, but obviously in our day, like it wasn't really, YouTube was popping, but not how it is now, innit? Like, would you, if you were to rewind the clock and go back in, would you choose that avenue as opposed to how you actually went in the beginning?
I don't think so, you know, because number one, I think people make YouTube out to be some sort of golden goose or something like that, and really the people that are succeeding have been working for 3, 4, 5 years and they're only making money like now.
Okay.
So it's a case of anything that you want to do, particularly in the creative industries, it just takes probably more graft than anything else. It's the only industry where starting out unpaid is a normal thing. You know, it's one of those things. But YouTube in itself, I think it's just a disruptive model. It's just one of those things that you can take and grab and make it your own. I think TV is a bit different to YouTube in that it's got a standardized format. So the reason why I wouldn't go back and just do YouTube would be because I have an appreciation for the process. I think there's a science to making shows. I think there's a science to why shows do well and why some don't. I think, you know, a lot of times they've taken YouTubers and put them on TV and it just doesn't work.
Right. Okay.
And that's because YouTube is a different ecosystem. It's a different, there's
form
different,
of media.
There's different things happening there. There's different reasons why people are there. People watch something for 2 minutes there. you can't. Yeah, you can tell a story in 2 minutes, but you can't tell that same story on TV. And the story you can tell on TV, you simply can't tell on YouTube. So there's it's a different ecosystem, in my opinion. Yeah, some people have transferable skills and whatnot, but I think what I've learned in TV has taught me such a respect for just filmmaking and making stuff and putting things together and planning, that YouTube probably would have taken me triple or quadruple the amount of time to learn, and probably never mastered to the point that I mastered it now. Whereby if you ask me to shoot a YouTube series, I can knock that out, no problem. But if you ask a YouTuber to shoot a TV series, they would struggle.
Okay. So just to rewind on something you said, not getting paid to be in the industry. So how long should you expect not to get paid?
Well, to be fair, you shouldn't expect it at all. I think they're killing off that little practice there. But the reality is, the way the industry's set up, it's a freelance industry, unfortunately.
Okay. So explain that to people, that what freelance is, just in case they don't know.
So freelance means, well, TV's not actually freelance. It's more fixed term, but it's interpreted as freelance. So fixed term means you get a contract, and once that contract's done, no one owes you nothing. You move on to wherever you move on. You can make a career out of it, but it is not the easiest, you know. Once those 3 months are done at whatever company you work, they say goodbye, and then you have to go and find something else. So most people can string things together because of their network or because they're applying or whatever, but if you've walked in, you only have one friend, you've worked there for a week, you haven't made any more friends, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's next, you're going to walk out and be in the exact same position you were when you left. Because the minute you leave that door, you're back to being another.
Hence why networking is important.
Hence why networking is like the lifeblood.
Got you. So again, it is common practice for people not to get paid. How long should they not get paid for?
It's really tough for me to
like
say
if they're doing it for like a year, obviously they're doing something wrong.
No, I don't think there's anything about being wrong. I think what it is that it's all about opportunities. So I think if you hone in on your opportunity, but let me rewind actually. There probably is a stop that you have to make to not being paid. And why I say that is because you need to also put value on yourself.
Yeah, you gotta eat.
Exactly, you gotta eat. So it's a case of being confident that you now have enough experience or know-how, or just there's enough value in what you do for someone to pay you, take money out of the budget that it also is limited, and dedicate it to you.
Got you.
You know, at the lowest level, it's low risk. You're making biscuits or whatever you're just doing whatever you need to do. But even then, they still need to trust you. And I think it's less so about how long do you need to wait. It's how quickly can you build up trust.
Got you.
I think that's the question. Because once you build up trust, that is basically how you survive in the industry. You build up trust. They say you can do this, you can do that. You know, that's it.
Got you. Okay, so I guess that's how you get into it and what to expect when you first get in. What would you say in your experience so far has been like the biggest regret or something that you wish you'd done or wouldn't have done?
It's hard because because it's freelance, you kind of don't really know what you regret, because it's hard to explain, but you make mistakes, but because it's just ever revolving, it's not like I make a mistake and because of that I never work again. I've worked since then, so I might not actually know what mistakes I've made.
Got you.
What I will say is that...
What would you do differently though?
There was one thing that I could have worked on. So I could have worked on tattoo fixes in series 1.
Who?
Tattoo fixes for E4, which is now in its like 10th season. They go all over the place. So I had an option of picking that job and another job, a job for Discovery, which paid a tiny bit more, and I thought was a bit more respectable because I was in the office and it was Discovery and all sorts. Even though Studio Lambert, who make tattoo fixes, are a really well-known company. So basically, they offered me that contract. The Discovery role started sooner. I had a bit more money, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for that. And then I basically spoke to Studio Lambert and said I don't want to take the role. Begging me, that place is dry, Discovery is dry, everything, which obviously they're entitled to say in their experience. And
were they right then? Were they dry?
They were kind of right and kind of not. I think because I I kind of took the piss out of my own sort of dream because I wanted to tell stories and I was going to somewhere that's very corporate. So I was trying to, ideally I wanted to, you know, get on the camera and do all these things, which I would have.
So you went for the clout?
I went for the clout, I went for the money, I went for just where it sounded nice. And it was nice, I can't lie, it was cool. Like, I went there, happy, you know, got to take, like, I had like a Mac and a laptop that I'd take home and I was doing all kind of madness and whatever, it was just chill. But then reality is, that series 9 is 10 series. I would have grown with it. Because they even said, after this, we're going to give you another role. We promise you, if that's what you want, everything, we'll offer you the world.
Right. So you were there when it was just starting?
Very beginning, I had a job with them.
Nice.
Very, very beginning. And they liked me. So I think they blacklisted me after that for a while.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
It's a kind of, because obviously, they looked for someone, they found me.
Yeah.
They put their trust in me.
They
put their money down.
Yeah.
And I said no.
Damn.
After I said yes.
Oh, yeah.
The word is bond in this
that
industry, you know what I'm trying to
context.
say.
That context.
Obviously, I think we're cool now. I spoke to the guy. He's cool.
Well, he's rich now, innit? 10 series and that. He's
Listen,
smiling.
you know, the guy that I worked with on that series was the series producer. He's now the executive producer. And, you know, he's probably going to be a commissioner sometime soon.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, I could have grown with him.
Yeah.
But it can't really be a regret because I don't know how that would have worked out.
Yeah.
It might have been a case of it might have been too early for me and I wasn't ready for the madness they would have put me through.
I know you would have known his tattoo fixing. Or would you
but it's a big show, isn't it? Like it's a big show and people respect big shows in the industry.
Got you.
Because since then I actually haven't worked on a massive show. Like I haven't done a First Dates or on Datables that everyone knows and it's like, yeah, this is a massive show for us.
What would you say is the biggest show you've worked on so far?
Probably Rap Game now or How to Lose Weight Well, which is in season 5. And it, you know, commands like 5 minutes. Actually, no.
Go on.
By ratings, The One Show is the biggest show.
What's that?
The One Show.
The One Show.
Oh, The One Show, of course.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest show.
So then, like, going back to, like, Discovery, and I think you mentioned previously about the culture of industry, innit? Like, when you first kind of got in terms of how did you manage to deal with, the things which you didn't expect? Like, did you have to adapt yourself to the role? Or
to the pub?
Or was you like, okay, cool, now I'm going to stay true to Nelson. I'm a
Blue Barrel boy,
Nigerian, they should take me how I am.
See, what's funny about all that is that a lot of the time people think when they get into these places that you're going to intimidate these people. Yeah, you do that. They definitely are scared of you, but the problem they're just by nature.
Right.
But the problem is you actually get there and you're kind of shook yourself because you're the only one. Like, if they wanted to conspire against you, they would sit in this room and say, he's not good, he's gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I don't know how that rings true for everyone else, but I got there and I was like, what the hell? Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, do they think I'm rude? Don't they think I'm rude? Am I, like, talking too bassy? Am I too far? All these things because...
I said bassy. We have to increase your volume in your voice.
Bro, it's like, because, you know, it's one of those things where because we've grown up in our ends and we're not sheltered, we do go out, but
enclosed.
We're enclosed. We know this. We know how we laugh. We know how to crack jokes. We know all these things. All these things are us.
Yeah.
When you take us out of that and throw us in a pool of these people who, by most likely, are not even from London.
Yeah.
So even the little secondary school gist that you could do with the brothers or whatever.
Yeah. Don't swim.
It's not really working. Yeah, these guys are from some village in Sussex.
Mad.
They came here. They might have lived in London 2 years, but then all they know is avocado. You know, and I got to work. I didn't know what an avocado was. I didn't even like it. So that's just an example. But I got there, and it's sort of like not only am I working in the TV industry, which is new to me.
Yeah. I'm
still adapting and trying to learn, but also I'm trying to work out how do I avoid the stereotypes? How do I avoid falling into that whole grey area where they're not sure if I'm one of them or not.
Got you.
It's not that I want to. Actually, that's a lie. I did want to be one of them
Yeah, you
because
want to be in the industry.
they're working and they're running the show and they've got the money and they brought me in at the bottom and I need them to shift up.
Yeah, I think in all careers, like that's an issue that we all have to deal with, especially being black in this country and trying to be a professional. Like you don't want to be the stereotype and you want to fit in, but at the same time you are who you are, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so you kind of have to adapt.
It's a weird one, and actually, as you grow and you learn and you become more confident in whatever you're doing, you sort of work out a way to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Some people completely remove it. That's up to them. Some people overdo it. That's up to them as well. Some people place it in the middle.
So at what point in your career did you realize that, okay, this is the method I'm gonna go with? Like, or wait a minute, what is the method you went with?
Probably it's evolved over the years, to be honest.
So in the industry, are you totally different, Nelson? Are you not your vocab is different? You're like, hi, how you doing?
Probably less so now because I have capital. I think before it was a case of I didn't have capital. I felt disposable. Probably was disposable. And I think also before I didn't know what my USP was or my value was. Right. Probably because, to tell the truth, I didn't have that much.
Got you.
I hadn't built up my reputation, and also because it's not corporate, the contracts are not like 2 years and rolling from then. It's 3 months, and if we like you, you might get into another show. The stakes are just so much higher. You're playing with your life, essentially.
Yeah. So, based on that, would you say you shouldn't play with TV? Like, you have to really want to be in TV, would you say?
Yeah, man. I think it's not one of my friends, she works in TV, and I tell her all the time, I don't know if you like this, I can't lie to you because you complain about the hours, you complain about the P's, you complain about what do you want to, why are you here? Because you don't need to be. You can make money in this industry, don't get me wrong, but it's not an easy way to make money. There's a lot of sacrifice, and it's only now that I've appreciated the sacrifices I've made and come to terms and been okay with it. You are going to miss out on a lot of things in the people around you's lives. You're gonna sacrifice a lot of time and a lot of energy, and things will not make sense, and you put in so much work for something, and they might just ditch the program.
Got you.
Right.
So there has to be a personal satisfaction every single day doing what you're doing, and that's probably the only way to survive. Otherwise, after a while, you're gonna be like, "What am I doing here, man? I can double this somewhere else."
Turnover high in TV.
Yeah, a lot of people leave. And there's a lot of rubbish people as well, to be honest. And that's because of. So I don't have a crashing mat. If I fall, I fall.
Yeah.
Probably to JSA.
Wow.
But there's people.
Come on, I don't believe that. But
no, but now obviously it's cool, and I've been blessed that it hasn't got that bad, but it could have been that bad. Do you see what I'm saying? But no, obviously I had my degree to fall back on, and I had links to fall back on. Other stuff I could have done, I would have had to go into that. But TV is no joke because, like I said, it's literally on someone's opinion.
Yeah.
It's literally, are your ideas good? But it's someone else's ideas of your idea that judges if you make money and how much they're gonna pay you. Your idea about Krypton Conan wasn't that great, so we're gonna give you 2 bills. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But it might be the dopest idea in the world.
Got you.
So then, all right, cool. So what keeps you in it, and what's your plans for the future? Really, like what's the next stage?
What keeps me in it? I think I'm in it, number one, because it's long to start again anything else. But also, to be fair, actually, a lot of people leave TV and make a lot of money simply because it's such a tough industry to be in, because you're working to something that's not been made before. So what we create, the programs we make, they haven't been made before. Everything is just evolving. We're literally able to do things on the fly. I could walk in here, you give me 10 minutes and a camera, I could make a show for you. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
That's how seasoned we are. So we, you know, a lot of us end up going into stuff like consulting or being press officers for like high-powered organizations, and it's like work because we know it. You know, we know what they want to know, and we, you know, all those things. And you know, a lot of time in TV deal with very high-powered institutions. So at one point, I was in Qatar. I was talking to a sheikh who's got like 7 billion in assets, and I was eating in his front room.
Bro, big boss man.
Right.
It's weird, you know, because TV is like that. You know, it's glamorous on that side. You make a lot of high-powered connections. 1 minute I'm filming with David Beckham, next minute I'm filming with such and such, and then next minute I've got this nut guy's number, and it's like, bro, like the other day I looked at my phone, how have I got J5's number? Like, it's weird, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, and I text him and be like, yeah, what are you saying? What's going on? Like, yeah,
You
anyway.
just listen to his tunes on the radio.
It just, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird. And then there's all these perks like, oh, I want to go to this place. Hey, I beg you, grab me tickets. Yeah, sure, you're on the guest list. What? Who am I?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just working.
Them casual
So
name drops there, you know.
It's one of those things whereby...
The David Becker, you know, we'll get back to that one.
No, but that's the thing. But at the same time, that is one of those things that you appreciate probably when you leave,
Okay.
not when you're in it.
So then what's your future plans then, homie?
My future plans. Actually, I didn't even answer that question very well.
Oh,
Answer it again. Sorry, answer it. I went off tangent.
So what's your future plans? Like what?
No, the one before.
No, you answered that one. You
Did I
said
answer?
just you're in it because you can't be asked to go anywhere else.
No. That's not my answer. That's not my answer. All right.
You said it's too late to leave.
No, my actual answer is because it's nice to be able to go into work and, number one, not know what you're going to end up with, and number two, being able to, people have this weird thing when they say create every day, but basically develop something and it's you. Like, if it goes wrong, it's you. If it goes right, it's you. Your merit is there instantly. It's not like, oh, there was a team of 10 that worked on this and they all contribute. No. This is what you did. This is what you did. This is who you got in the show. This is what you filmed. You live and die by that.
High accountability.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like,
Dope.
and that's why people don't make it, or they do make it. You know, and that's why I love
So
Future.
So currently I work in documentaries, and I think I want to continue on that. Basically, I want documentaries that reflect not just where I come from. So obviously, talking about ends, you know, when people talk about ends, obviously they go immediately to crime, but actually there's a lot of nuance to who I am and what I've experienced and what people around me have experienced, and also what I'm interested in. But ultimately, I want to be able to tell those stories and own those stories, be it as a director or as a commissioner, own those stories and put those stories out and let a mass audience appreciate it and feel able to relate to something and be inspired positively by something, or just be able to learn something new. That's probably the base. So when people have watched something that I've worked on and they go, "Rah, I didn't know that." Job done.
Got you. So like things like Top Boy being picked up and by Drake and that stuff, that obviously telling stories of ends, like you'd want to be involved in things like that. Like what do you think about that thing?
So obviously with
Obviously it's the crime element of it.
yeah. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with crime, you know. There's nothing wrong with crime at all.
There's something wong with it.
Let's
No.
not tell
I'll
listeners
explain
that.
though, because I think a lot of people, and I think this is why a lot of people in TV, a lot of people in TV get wrong as well.
Go on.
Crime was a part of my childhood. I indulged in crime. I won't lie. We all did to some extent. Be it you took some sweets, or you graffitied, or you had a
Trapping
tag,
in a bando.
whatever it was that you did, we all brushed with it, and that is just our culture. Black folk, we know that, you know, there's a couple of mandem here or there, whatever. But then there's also the story about the people that it didn't catch,
Got you.
or the people that got through it, or the people that, in fact, are living through experiences in this world now where they're actually a minority, and what is that? And there's all those stories and those nuances there that people haven't really picked up on, that I think are where the story should be told. Crime, as long as it's there's a full body of work. You know, when you speak about crime, if you speak about The Wire, that is criminal in terms of what it was talking about. Yeah. But if you were to ask someone what The Wire is about, they wouldn't just say crime. They'd say it's about like basically people. Yeah. You know, politics. How does politics affect this and that? Yeah. It's all those kind of things. Sopranos, the same. Yeah. All those kind of things. So there's a way to make something that starts with crime but talks about people. Got you. And I think that's where you want to end up.
So every story deserves to be told.
Every story deserves to be told. Yeah, for sure. Not everybody. Actually, no. Not every story deserves to be told. Okay. Why I say that is because a story can only be told in TV if there's an audience. Okay. Makes sense. People care. Got you. Your job is to, number one, make it look like people will care, and then once it's been commissioned, make people care. But sometimes the subject you have, people just won't care. Got you.
Got you. So, wrapping this up a little bit. So outside of TV, like Nelson Adeosun, what is your personal goals outside of TV and career? Like, what's happening now?
This
like,
is the E-man question.
I mean, I get this a lot in it, but the reason why I ask in it is just to see like what your personal goals are, be it like house, yard, marriage, kids. I don't know if you got a girlfriend or not, like, and how would that kind of intertwine the impact of your career?
So I don't know if I said it this time, but basically I was talking about for my career, I sacrificed a lot, which is how it works. So I do have goals. I do want, to settle down, marry.
So you're on the market.
When will you marry?
I don't want to say I'm on the market. That's a bit wild.
Yo.
But like, it's one of those things where obviously I'm older now. I'm in my 30s, so whereby a few people around me might have been able to do what they wanted to do and get like married, settled down. Various reasons I haven't been able to do that. So that's an aim, but also my ultimate aim is just fulfillment. So it's whatever can satisfy me at whatever point in time. I think a lot of people put marriage and houses and stuff on a pedestal, and they get there and it's sort of like, what's next? Do you know what I mean? One of my friends, she's got a house, she's married, she's got a kid, and she's telling me that she wants to now get into TV. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work. You see what I'm saying? So I'm happy with how I've done it in that I've got where I want to get. I'm happy, I'm comfortable. I'm happy for how much I get paid. I'm happy with my sort of progression. And I'm happy where now I can probably fast track everything I want to do. Settle down, get my house. These things are not running away. 20 years from now, our kids are going to all be our kids. They're going to talk to each other and whatever. So for me, it's like, I sort of, because at one point I was disappointed that, I'm kind of behind everyone, and this TV thing is mad. Like, I'm not even in the country. I'm not setting out. I'm missing weddings. I'm missing this. I'm missing that. I'm missing this. But then I had to look at what is the fulfillment. Like I said to you, I'm happy going in every single day. Okay. I know a lot of people are not. I'm happy to just be in my room and watch a program. Some people are not. Great. Whether that is in a house I rent or that's in a house I have, at that point is irrelevant. When I do get there, that's not going to be, okay, cool, I've got my happiness now in my house. No, it's just going to be like, oh, another step in my master plan. Yeah. So that's sort of my thinking. So my goals are to do all those things, but they're not really my goals. My goal is just to constantly be happy, feel fulfilled, and also just give back in any way I can. Yeah.
Dope. So let me just ask, so obviously you work in TV, so do you do anything outside of TV or outside of your profession? Yeah, so I've been working, I've got a sort of creative marketing agency called Boy Wonder Management. We sort of put together corporate packages, so we've been working a lot on with organizations to design their brand packages, so we've done websites, videos, all of the above. Now with where I've sort of come into my career, I also want to push more into creating my own docs, and that's where YouTube comes in that,
there's a whole process for things to get made in TV, and I can't be bothered to wait. So I'm now using all the things I've learned and making my own stuff, you know, and just putting that out and making that work, because that once again reinforms what I do at work.
Okay.
And because I like it so much, it's easy. It's like I pick up a camera, I shoot at work, and so it's like it works. So all those things sort of come together. So that's obviously through my creative branding agency as well. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much, I just have interest like music, just normal stuff, just chilling.
He must be, I mean, Nelson's being mad modest though. But are you co-host of a podcast?
Of course, yeah. And obviously, I work on the...
Nelson trying to be modest, you know. Okay.
And also, I do my podcast with my friends Josh, Jude, and Ade, bi-weekly podcast and everything, TV and film.
Okay.
And just general content stuff. So we kind of analyze the industry from a sort of, I like to say, ends perspective. Okay. I like that. Yeah, that's sort of everything I do. I always forget because obviously
busy man, yeah.
That's not where man's satisfaction's at. You get me?
He's everywhere.
But yeah, man, we're just trying to make things happen.
Excellent, dope. So how can people get a hold of you? What's your contact details and all that? So
the socials are Nils Marco.
Jeez.
How we got to that name, we never. We don't want to talk too much. But NILLZ MARCO on all the socials apart from Facebook. Facebook is the government. It's a bit mad, but I'll give it. So it's Nelson Adeosun, surname is spelled ADEOSUN. If you're trying to get into TV, that's probably the best place to hit me up because I can just link you with anything that's coming in. Yeah, once you find me on the socials, if you need me, there's Twitter, there's Insta, obviously the Facebook I've got. If you need me for anything, just hit me up on those, and then we can talk over emails and, you know, phone. Happy to meet people as well. Happy to introduce people to people I know once I know they're legit and not crazy. And we go from there, man.
Go past that test.
Yeah, man. It's all love, man. I'm looking to just anyone that is interested, honestly, hit me up. Like, I'm one in like 100 in there, but I'm trying to make it to 100 and 100.
Dope. All right, brother. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. So, for all those that want to get in contact with us, you can contact us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Contact is ends2excellence. That's the number 2, ends2excellence, one word. And also on our website, ends2excellence.com, we have a voicemail or like a voice note feature. So if you go to the contacts page, you can leave a message or, you know, give us opinions or questions for any of our guests. So go to ends2excellence.com and leave a message for us. This has been the Ends to Excellence podcast. Thank you for joining us.
This, by the way, my bro. It's a good platform, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hopefully the people they will take it in. They have to take it in.
We're growing the brand, so we'll see in it. I know we got a lot of people coming up. So,
but yes, Ends to Excellence podcast. Thank you for joining us. Boom.